Back inside the Pirate Radio Zoom room, brought to you by Sailor Warehouse, your local U.S. Sailor authorized agent. Also, White Claw Hard Seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it. And your CBD store. Joining us today, former ECU offensive lineman and long snapper as well, CJ Struyk. We're going to talk some football. We're going to talk a little Big Rock Blue Marlin tournament as well. CJ, thanks for your time. How you doing, man?
Hey, Brock, doing good, brother. Feels good to be back and talk to you.
Yeah, good to have you, man. Good to, and we talk to you this time of year now because the Big Rock Blue Marlin tournament's coming up, and want to get your thoughts on that. But first, I ask everybody I talk to now, how has your life changed these last few months, and what's different today for you that you were doing, say, early March?
Man, so we're in the shipping industry, my family's business. So that's been a whirlwind since the tariff war started, really. But this coronavirus really, messed things up over on the China side. So we've been feeling that, draft of problems and going into Europe shipping as well. But every, day-to-day stuff's been, hectic with no restaurants, no gym to lift weights in and all that good stuff. But, man, living down here at the beach, you'd think nothing was going on if the restaurants weren't closed. There's people here every weekend packed. So it's nice to go ahead and get into summer and things start opening up, I believe. So.
Absolutely. Talking to CJ Struyk. CJ, you're going to be out on a big boat coming up shortly. So how did you kind of get involved with the Big Rock Blue Marlin tournament and first get out on that boat?
Man, so, little town in Morehead City, Big Rock's probably the biggest thing we got going on down here. We built our boat about 12 years ago, Piracy. It's a shoreline boat. And my father has been fishing it for a long time, and I kind of just followed his footsteps like I did with football and fell in love with the sport of fishing. So, we've had some good luck the past 2 or 3 years, and that's just kind of making us get the itch to keep doing it. So,
yeah, second generation pirate. We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. But as far as fishing, I didn't realize until last year, and I don't know if it was your interview or another interview, that the Big Rock is a series of events that you can fish in and win prizes. Are you involved in any other tournaments like this?
So the North Carolina Governor's Cup covers about, I think, 7 or 8 North Carolina fishing tournaments throughout the year or throughout the summer, and Big Rock's one of them. Now, Big Rock has the women's angler tournament on the Saturday before the Big Rock starts, but there's also categories for game fish and bill fish and tons of ways to win, prizes of money. And the Big Rock really does a good job with it, giving back to charities. And, it's expensive to join and get into the tournament, but the payouts makes it that much worth it.
What's your and I don't even know if it's necessarily your biggest catch, but what's your favorite catch you've ever had out there?
The first big blue we caught was, I think, 3 years. It was a year after I got done playing, 3 years ago, I believe. And I think it was 585 pounder. And, it was just the first one we ever boated onto the boat. We've had the boat for so long. And, we drank a lot. We laughed a lot. We cried. We were so pumped, man. We got knocked out of third place our last day of the tournament. And so we went from making $160,000 to getting like 3 T-shirts. So that was the only downfall of the whole deal. But, man, it was an awesome experience, and that's one we'll take with us forever. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the last day of the tournament. It seems like there's almost some scripted drama in this thing. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, but that last day is important. It's almost like the fourth quarter, right? Where somehow, some way, they'll come up with something. They'll find a big monster out there.
That's right, man. Yeah, that one they caught last year was 911, I think, or 914. And then, honestly, man, we didn't think there was any of that big out there left because everybody's catching them up. And that was a breath or a second wind to know that there's still big monsters out there and keep you going. So it's pretty cool.
CJ, when you're playing football, you're doing your winter workouts, and you go into spring ball, and then before you get to fall camp, there's more workouts. So you're training, you're doing stuff all year to prepare you for a game. How do you prepare for the Big Rock tournament? I mean, is it just when you're out there you got to react, or can you actually prepare for an event like that?
Man, so honestly, the fishing part, the angler is a big part of it, but the captain's just as much or more important. He backs down on the fish as soon as that, fish stops, taking off, and the line gets tight. or the drag, gets loose, I guess you should say. The captain backs down, and that helps beat the Marlin, wear them out just as much. So there's not really any training you can do. I mean, lifting weights, and I stay in the gym every day, just about. So that helps, I'm sure. But there's been 130-pound women catch blue marlin before, so being strong and all that helps. But it's really the captain that does all the work, I would say.
CJ, let's talk a little bit about your playing career. As I said, second generation. Your father was a pirate. You were a pirate as well. And everybody I talk to, every guy, that they have their memories, but they always say the camaraderie, the locker room, that kind of stuff they miss the most. Is that the same with you?
Yeah, man, I miss living with my 4 roommates, coming home every day, and just, if it wasn't football, it was going downtown Greenville and making memories down there with the boys and all your friends. I don't miss the running with Coach C. I will admit that. But yeah, man, there's nothing like that locker room camaraderie or the practice field and games, winning games. And we had a lot of success at ECU, and we were able to make some great memories. It really got me ready for the real world, though. Work can be sucky sometimes, or it can be tough, but mentally, physically, it'll never be as hard as how D1 football was.
You think Mike Houston's going to turn this thing back into a winner like it was in your early days at ECU?
Yeah, man, I had the opportunity to go quail hunt with Mike Houston a couple months ago, and really got to know him on a personal level. And he's a great guy and great coach, and I really think he is the guy for the job. A lot of this mess that he just walked into, you can't fault him for that. So I think once you cut the cancer out and get kind of the guys you want in there, and as Coach Ruff used to say, cut the knuckleheads out of the picture. So I think they're on the right track, man. I think this coronavirus is just another obstacle they'll have to climb and beat. But I think we're heading in the right direction.
CJ Struyk joining us finally. CJ, I don't know, what are your thoughts, kind of a week ahead of this event as you prepare for it, and I don't know, what are your expectations? What do you hope to happen this year when you're out on that boat?
I'll show you what I hope. Hold on. I hope we catch one of these big suckers.
Man,
that's the one. Yeah, man, that thing's badass. That's the one my dad and them boys caught last year in the Hatteras tournament.
Wow.
650, 655. That one right there, that would win many big rock tournaments throughout the year. So
it needs a partner up there beside it, right? So
yeah, that's right. Dang right, man. So that's the plan, and hopefully get my liver right heading into the tournament, because it's a big drinking sport. That's for sure.
All right, man. Well, do your conditioning on that, and good luck to you. CJ, thanks for joining us, man. Good luck, bud.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
CJ Struyk hanging out in the Pirate Radio Zoom room, brought to you by Sailor Warehouse. You can call Toby Williams at 252-799-7051. White Claw Hard Seltzer, proudly distributed by Coastal Beverage Company, and your CBD store next to Duck Donuts on Arlington Boulevard. For CJ Struyk, I'm Clip Rock. We'll see you next time.